did this hedge about mid-December and it's about 7:45 in the morning, so I'm afraid some of the film's a little bit dark to start with. This hedge is a sort of typical people cut what they can reach, and what they can't reach they leave for about 2-3 years and then call someone like me in. It was a very mild start to the day on this job, and I think by about 9:30 I was in my shirt sleeves, but then about 10 o'clock the weather decided to change and it turned rather cold and rather damp. Because it's a reasonably long hedge, I sort of did this side in two halves. I did the lower half I could reach to about halfway along the hedge, and then did the top half with the extension in, and then just repeated that process further down. Pretty much just did it like that. Gives your arms a bit of a change. Sort of, you're working in a different position then. And it also, the hedge don't feel so long that way as well. I didn't cut right to the top, as there was going to be quite a lot coming off the top of this hedge. I was told it hadn't been cut for 2 years, but some of the bits I cut off the top were probably 5 foot long, so we're talking nearer 3 to 4 years probably. And that's this end done, and the bottom half of the side there done, and just working my way back this way now. And now we have all the side done, and the fun bit is the top. It doesn't look a lot from on the ground, but you will see. The fun bit is knowing actually where to cut and how far to go into the hedge, and also trying to keep it level. So I pretty much sort of cut in swipes slowly, just worked my way into it until I got to a stage where it was got a fair bit off, but it's still pretty woody and I could still mostly cut it with a hedge cutter. But I did have to use the pruner quite a bit on the top of this hedge. Luckily the ground was fairly level, so I actually used the top of the ladder as a guide to roughly where level would be, and it didn't turn out too bad actually. At this point I'm actually sitting on top of the hedge. A neighbour's garden backs onto this hedge at this point, and there is a greenhouse just down there, and some of these bits are actually a lot bigger than you think, so I've had to pretty much hook them before I can cut them, just to make sure they don't drop over and do any damage. I've still got quite a bit of cutting to do, but that's where I've been so far, and it's fairly level. I've still got a little bit of the top of that far end to do, but that'd be easy bit, so I did that last. But still got a bit of cutting to do. At this point it started to rain, and the only good thing was the neighbour had actually cut all the back of the hedge off, which meant I can work off the ladder, and there wasn't quite as much I had to cut off then. But as you'll see towards the end of the video, there is another neighbour that backs onto this hedge, and they pretty much destroyed the hedge. There's probably about 20 feet of the hedge I barely had to cut. I started actual cutting probably about 8 o'clock in the morning on this, and I finished all the cutting by just after 2 o'clock, which I didn't think was too bad. At this point I'm just finishing the last little bit. And to just finish the hedge off, I knocked any bits, little bits that are on that top edge, because you always find there's bits there and then bits spring up, and then I just sort of run the hedge cutter along just to tidy that front edge. It's just that little finishing touch, I think. This hedge is never going to be perfect, far from it. Obviously don't get cut enough. And it's all cut, and also, as you can see, this is the end where the neighbours cut the back off, which is pretty horrendous, but I suppose it saved me a job. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you.